Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, wow.
Good morning. Great to see you. Welcome, my friends. Conversations about your career with moi. I'm so thrilled you joined us. And hi to our friends who are joining now. Gino, hi. Joshua, hi. Love to know where you're coming in from. Hi, Lisa. I have my dear friends here, Rosemary, who is my right hand kick. Everyone needs one. Rosemary's been with me for over 12 years, and she is an incredible artist, a dear friend, and she's a member of my team. Max Masano, he rocks the house, my cute boy. We have a special nickname for him, which once we get more friendly with you all, hi Lisa, we will share my dear Max's nickname. But Max is an incredible colorist. He's been working with me on developing lots of new content, which has been so exciting because today's the day. Today's the day we launched vivienmckinder.com. It took 45 years.
Better
Someone
late
said
than
to me,
never.
why have you never used your name before? And I think it went back to being at school where I just didn't like being called Vivienne. I'm old. I've embraced my name. So we're super excited that today's the day, the first day of vivienmckinder.com education. And we have this amazing new website. So do check it out. And you can be the first to join our family. So welcome. And so Max has been working with me on some amazing animations. And we've been learning so much, haven't we, Max?
Literally every day.
I can't hear you.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, do I need to have headphones?
I think so.
I'm going to be really old-fashioned. Mine are wired. Oh, yours are wired too.
Yeah. Rosemary, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. Hi.
This is so not maybe I can do it this way. No, I can't do it that way. This is so not attractive.
Great.
But anyway, hi. I have Bluetooth ones, those ones that without the wire. What's that called? Ones without the wire. Okay,
Sure.
let's jump into this, guys.
Yeah.
So I know that Cindy's going to be joining us. And so let's get into this, because what is this all about? So Rosemary, over to you first.
Well, it's first of all, thank you, Viv, for taking the time and the rest of the team to have our first conversations with Viv. And, you know, I've been fortunate enough to have been a part of your world for so long. And I know that everybody wants to get a chance to just peek into a little bit of who you are as an individual, besides the beautiful technical work that you do and the passion that you have. So we wanted to speak into something that we thought about that was really going to be beneficial to the team. And if you have any other things you want us to talk about, that we're probably going to be doing these at least twice a month on a Monday around 10 a.m. And this is really all about conversations with Viv. So my first question to you was, when the world came to a halt and we were all shut down, especially in our industry, we were talking about reinvention, reimagine, redesign, and all of those words that it was really about the re. So I wanted you to speak into, can you tell everyone why you came up with those words and how does one do it for themselves?
Well, thank you for the question, Rosemary. My dear friend, Deborah Neal, from the Neal Corporation, who hosts Serious Business, she actually was the one that said, re. When you put R-E in front of a word, it changes it. So imagination, reimagination, rejuvenate, anytime reinvent. When you put that R-E in front of a word, it changes the whole context of it. And I think we are all looking at, how do we reinvent ourselves? And I know that when we went into our COVID world, it was a harsh reality to try and figure out, how do you deal with this, right? And now we're thinking, well, now the world is opening up again. We have a new challenge to face. What is the new way going to be? And for many hairstylists, they've had to weather such troubling storms. So it started off with, okay, let's take that word and what can we do to reinvent ourselves? Because I know that I am no different to any of you guys watching. And thank you for joining. Hi, Shelley, and thanks for joining today. We all have had to reinvent ourselves. Some of us have risen from the ashes. Some of us are still struggling. So today's conversation is really to get you inspired and give you a sense of purpose and direction.
I love that answer. And I think, what I understand is the importance of no matter where you are in your career or where you are in your life, it's important to take time and reflect, from what I understand. Read, right? Reflect and look back into how you can start to really build yourself into the next segment of your life. So I have more questions, but I don't want to take all the time. So I'm going to move it over to Max, because I know Max has an incredible question for you.
So Vivienne, hi.
Hello, good morning, my sweetheart.
Good morning.
Virtual hug.
Right? So my question for you, it's actually kind of a two-part question, not to one-up everybody, but, I followed your career from many, many moons ago when I was a little baby hairdresser, and I can definitely say that you are the queen of reinvention. So my question for you, the first part is, what has been your biggest challenge with reinventing yourself over all these years, and how did you overcome it?
Great question. Thank you. I think there are two key words: ambition, contentment, and they're opposite. Without ambition, we don't have a goal, a passion, a purpose. We don't have that drive because we don't have ambition. The danger: ambition can take over your life when nothing is ever good enough. Relationships can be pushed aside for the drive of that ambition, the drive of that new salon, the drive of whatever it is that's in your heart's desire. Contentment, that sense of peace, that sense of relaxation. If you stay in contentment too long, it can get boring, it can get dull, and standing still is actually moving backwards in a world that's moving very fast forward. So finding that balance between the ambition of things you want in your life and the contentment is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with. Now, when I take it personally to my own world, once I've done something and I've given it away, it creates space for something new. And this is really important. Anytime you go to a workshop, anytime you see something online that you learn, if you share it, you give it away. If you apply it, you've given it away. Now you need to fill that gap with something new. And I don't want to sound like some Chinese cookie thing where you have the little quotes in a Chinese cookie. Well, I'm going to give you something here. Just to discover new horizons, you must lose sight of the shore. And if you think about that, if you want to go off into something new and reinvent yourself, you have to let go in order to have a hand free to embrace the new. And I think the letting go is terrifying, because what if it doesn't work? Fear, insecurities. But when you want something bad enough in your life, don't be in your own way. Because I always say, if you are wanting something and you're stopping yourself, it's like driving your car with a handbrake on. You're in the vehicle, you have the destination in your GPS, the engine is running, but the handbrake is on. And sometimes our fear is a handbrake, and sometimes our doubt is a handbrake, which is why, Max, I've always surrounded myself with people smarter and better than myself. I have Suzette here, who is, in my mind, a genius. And she's responsible for the beautiful new Vivienne McKinder website and everything you're going to see. She's a whole lot smarter than me, thank God. She's got so many more attributes that I have, which is good because I can just sort of like scrape off some of those goodies and then apply them to my life. So if you are a little bored, if getting up in the morning is not as exciting to go to work anymore, if things are just not exciting, then it's your responsibility to make them exciting. And if you go to drive to work in a different direction, listen to a different audio going to work, do something different, make a different lunch. Don't always go to the same place and have the same thing. Do something crazy. When you come home at night, ask yourself this in your own relationship. Are you fascinating? Are you a fascinating person to be with? Or have you become boring? So what can you do to become more fascinating? And today in your daily work, how about saying to a client, let's put the parting on the other side and see how that looks. Let's tuck your hair behind your ears today and let's see how that looks. That's not a major change, but it is a change. So I think for myself, it's always been, I want to be relevant. I want something new. I get bored very, very, very quickly. And I have a recklessness to my personality where I just go, let's do it. And I jump off and then I go, I can't fly. Did that answer your question?
Yes, completely. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to pass it over to Cindy.
Before we move over to Cindy, I just want to bring a big shout out to all your followers and friends out in Facebook, on Hairdressers Create, Vivienne McKinder page, on Instagram. I see a lot of you in the chat, Maria, Crystal, Facebook users. I'm sorry we can't necessarily contact you, but we do send our love to you, and we want you to know that we are so grateful that you're here. And you have to see the new site. You are going to absolutely love it. And she will talk more about that in a minute. But I'm going to shut up and I'm going to move over to Cindy.
Hi, everyone. You can hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Hi, Cindy.
So my question, you've answered some of what I was going to ask because you're just brilliant. I would like to know, for you personally, is reinvention to you, is it a restart, completely starting over from the very beginning? Or is it take where you are and run?
I think it's a combination of both, Cindy. And Cindy, I want to acknowledge you. You know, Cindy, I've known for a long, long time, many, many years. Cindy came and assisted me on my workshops. Cindy ended up being this amazing support to me, as Rosemary and Max have been. And I just fell in love with Cindy. This woman has a heart of gold. She is amazing. She is a lifelong learner. And it's an honor to have Cindy with us because she has really been extraordinary in her support. She actually manages the Facebook group. So if you want to connect, this is the girl that will let you in. So be very friendly to us, Cindy. But she's an amazing lady. So the question about, do you restart from scratch? Write down what's working. Let's start with what works. Make a list of everything that's working in your life, because from gratitude and appreciation, many great things will occur. So start writing down a list of everything that really is working. And maybe just from that list, you could go, wow, I should be a lot more thankful than I have been, because I tend to be the type of person that looks at what's not right. If I go to a haircut, it's like, what's not perfect about this haircut? In my room, it's like, what needs to be fixed? So I'm always looking to try and make things better, which means I can very often miss what is actually working. So I have to remind myself to be thankful, to be grateful, and really own that. So first of all, do that list. What is working in your life? What is not working? And what is a non-negotiable? Because there's a huge difference between need and want. And you have to be able to ask yourself, okay, what is my heart's desire? What do I really want to do? And what's it going to take for me to do that? Well, the first thing is believing. Because if you don't believe in it, it's hard to sell it to anybody. And whatever ideas you have, they have to be sold to somebody, because at some point you've got to make money from your idea, right? So from your list of what works, from your list of what does not work and what is like you need to change, the courage to be able to do that, I think, is really, really, really huge. So when you're looking at that, it's the what do you want? Why do you want it? I think the why is very important, because in motivation, when the why is big enough, you will do it.
So for example, summer is coming. Some of us gained weight during COVID. Some of us didn't. Some of us may have some really nice little swimsuit that we'd like to fit into, and somehow it doesn't work anymore. I will be going to the beach in a tent this year. But anyway, when you look at the why, going to the beach, looking my most fabulous. Now, what if I was dating a man that was kind of cut and buffed and gorgeous, and I end up showing up not my very best? I'm probably not going to feel very good. I'm going to say I don't want to go to the beach. Well, if my why is big enough, I'm going to do everything it takes to exercise, to have a healthy lifestyle so that I can feel good about presenting myself in my fabulous swimsuit. I'm only talking about me right now, right? Because I'm very self-conscious. So the why has to be big. The next thing is the what if. What if you do the idea that you have? And what if you don't? Now, what if you do the heart's desire? You need to write out, and journaling is really important because it's great to get words out there and take time to marinate and think about these things. So the why is very, very important. But what's so important also is to say, well, what if I do and what if I don't? So for example, we just launched a new product, viviennemakinda.com. It's a huge educational site. We have just created the designer program, the hair designer program. It is huge and it's amazing and it is life-changing. So the question would be, what if you did do it? I guarantee if you follow everything I say in there, in 1 year's time, you're going to be an extraordinary, amazing hairdresser. And I know you're good right now. I know that. But you'd be even better. Now, what does even better look like to you? How does that show up? What does that mean financially? What does that mean creatively to you? So that to me is very, very important. So the why is I want to be the best version of myself. The why is I want to make more money. The why is I want to have more fun. The why is I want to be more creative. The why is I don't want to be stuck where I am right now. I want to shift. And the what if you do it? Wow. You've reinvented yourself, which is today's subject. And what if you don't? You could be exactly where you are today. And one of the big things, and Joyce Myers, who is one of my wonderful role models, she said, to complain is to remain the same. The moment you complain and complain and complain, you will remain the same. But when you complain and find an answer to the problem, the complaint vanishes. And that's where the power is. So the what if, the why, the what if, and the how, of course. That's why we have mentors. That's why we guide each other. And I think today, I clearly know that you can go anywhere on any digital platform and learn how to cut a square bob. Make sure you're learning from a master, because you want to learn the right way, the fast way, and you don't want to learn bad habits and then say, oh, if only I'd known there was a quicker, shorter way, all the time I could have saved. So ask yourself, what is the standard I want to work to, and find that person who's going to be able to mentor you, guide you, and go way beyond just cutting a straight line. The how it fits that person's lifestyle, how it fits the balance and the whole look. Those other elements is where I thrive, because anyone can teach you technique. Some teach it good, some teach it average, and some teach it bad. I'm going to teach you so much more than that, and that's part of the reinvention. Did I answer your question, Cindy?
You did. You answered it beautifully.
Okay.
Thank you.
Question and then some.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a couple comments. First of all, Timothy J. Belcher on Facebook. He just tuned in and he says, Vivienne, you look younger and fabulous. And hello, Max. And Cindy, we're going to have you talk about Hairdressers Create, because Crystal Greco, she says she's a general manager and she needs a Cindy in her life. And Timothy wants to join the Facebook group. So maybe you can speak into that before we have one more round of questions. And guys, if you have something that you want us to speak about in our next session, which could be, I believe, either next week or the following week, please, please, please put it in the Hairdressers Create chat and we will keep a list of it so that we can have the opportunity to add value to you. So, Cindy, can you talk about Hairdressers Create, please?
Sure. You basically just have to find it. It's a group. It's in groups. It's a group. Hairdressers Create with Vivienne McKinder. And you need to answer a few questions, and that's it. And I'll let you in.
That's it. All you need to do is
Easy.
find and click. Find and click. So we're going to go with one more round of questions, if that's okay, Vivienne. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I am going to redirect the question because we're in the re world. And this is for salon owners. I think right now I can speak for some people I know that salon owners are having a challenge with staff not investing time nor money into continuing education. What advice or suggestions can you make to help their businesses and the staff stay committed?
Well, I think during this time, many have had to be independent and be very resourceful in being independent. And I salute anyone who's being successful in their business, giving their very best to their business, whether it be an independent or whether it be part of a salon group. I think for our salons, the number one thing is, and it applies to being an individual, how you lead yourself. Because how you lead yourself will be magnified out into the world, and what you put out into that world, it will come back. So for a leader behind their chair, you need to practice what you want. You have to be it, even if you don't have it. You have to be it. So for a salon owner who wants a highly educated staff, who wants to take the game to a next level, the salon owner needs to be the very first one to invest in their education. They need to show up and actually be working on a mannequin head, working on new ideas, because it's very hard to tell other people to do things that you won't do yourself. And we should all invest in ourselves in every single way. So if you have pulled back from behind the chair and you're more in the management role, let your staff know the kind of courses you're going on, the learning that you are doing, because in today's world, there's no excuse for not learning. It is so convenient. I remember the time when you got on an airplane and you would travel maybe halfway around the world to go and see an artist perform, because there was no Instagram, there was no social media. The only way you could see that person was to go there live. What did that mean? The investment of your time, your energy, your resources, and you obsessed over it, and you were like hanging on every word because of the cost and the time to go and seek out somebody in Australia or someone in London or someone in Paris. Today we can click on a button. They could be in Paris, so they could be wherever. Oh, okay, watch it for a few minutes next. Watch it for a few minutes next. You have to be aware of snacking on empty calories. And when you think about it, when we snack on junk food, which we all like to do, they're empty in their nutritional value. They're very low in their nutritional value, but they have high calories. So we snack on something, then we're still hungry more and more, but we have no substance from it. There's nothing that really sticks and changes because we're snacking and snacking and snacking. I say dive into the full meal. So for a salon owner, I'm saying, right, practice what you preach, number one. Invest in an educational program so it has structure and you can measure the growth as you go along. Because wouldn't you like to be able to say in 6 months' time, you are a better version of yourself in 6 months' time than today? Wouldn't you like to see the financial return on that? And the part of being a team is that a team should add value to each other. A team should share. A team should collaborate. You may go faster alone, but you won't go further alone. And that's really huge. So if you're part of a team, what can I do as a team member to create more magic in the space? How do I support my team so that we can all thrive together? Because if there's one person pulling down the team, energetically, everyone is being depleted. It takes a lot more energy to climb the mountain. It's really easy to fall down the mountain. So we need each other. Be vulnerable. be goal focused and ask yourself, what can I do to be the very best version of myself and support my team? And for those of my dear friends who are solo artists, God bless you. It's not easy being everything to one in one business. And you have to have so many talents and so many tasks that you do need support as well. The nice thing about what we're doing with VivienneMcKinder.com is that we have mentoring there. We are there to guide you and support you. So if you feel alone right now, by joining us, you won't feel alone, because I will be there to help you as well as my team. So it is a new time. You've got to set new goals, new vision for where you want to go, but you've got to do it as a collective. Even if you're an independent, still think, who is going to support my vision and my dream?
Yeah, no, that's very powerful. Very powerful. I want to honor Max and Cindy's last question. So we have about 4 minutes left before we sign off for today. Max.
Thank you, Rosemary. So just to take this even to the next level, what advice would you give a recent cosmetology school graduate who probably didn't get the most complete education that they could get, especially in this last year with COVID? You know, a lot of students were working remote from home, didn't get the actual live sort of clinical experience on the floor. So in a lot of regards, these kids are actually having to reinvent themselves right out of cosmetology school. What kind of advice would you give those guys?
Yeah, a very difficult time to be a student in our craft, especially wearing a mask. I would say out of COVID, and even before COVID, and forward thinking, when you graduate from school, you still need to invest in your education, because the education is a journey. And as you know, and for those of you watching that don't know, I created Hair Heroes during COVID. And the reason I created Hair Heroes was because I was sad, lost, confused. I lost about 85% of my business. And I thought, what do you do when you feel lost? And I thought, you reach out to people smarter and better than yourself, and you get the inspiration. So I reached out to some of the greatest hairdressers in the world and said, please share your story of your success, and please teach me something. I want to learn from you. I want to get inside your head. I don't want to be inside my own head, because what's going on inside my head right now is not good. I need to get inside the head of someone far better and more brilliant, which I did. And it was amazing to dive into their head, to learn how they think, and let their success rub off on me. So for anyone in their career, especially a young student, you need to be around somebody. You need to look in the room and go, wow, I want to be like that one day. You need to be in that space where you go, wow, that person's so great, so cool. How they dress, how they speak to their clients, how they do hair. They are a role model to you. And I think that's, first of all, you've got to find that. And if you don't find that, keep searching and searching and searching until you do find it. And then you've got to find your virtual friends, because there are some really great role models there that can support you and guide you. So I would say, if you are feeling there's gaps in your career, and you could be 20 years in this business and you can still say there are some gaps, Viv, join our hair designer program. You can go through it at a self-pace. There's 112 videos. You just tinker along. The whole thing is guided. And in September, we're so excited. We're actually going to be doing our first mentored, guided hair designer program. So every Monday, I think it's going to be Monday. We haven't decided, Monday or Tuesday. In fact, I'd like to know from you guys, do you want it on Monday or a Tuesday? We're going to be guiding you for 2 hours. That would be very, very exciting. So I would say, Max, and summary to your question, just be a lifelong learner. And if you're just about to graduate and go onto the floor, then join our designer program, because you'll find that that will really guide you.
Great. Thank you.
Fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so we're just at the top of 10:30, so I am going to let Cindy ask her question. And again, guys, thank you so much for joining us and being here with us. Everybody, thank you for the compliment. Vivienne cut my hair, so...
And Rosemary cut my hair.
So anyway, I'd like to move over to Cindy. Please, Cindy.
You spoke before about passion. I find in current times especially, but any challenging times, I find it difficult to get the inspiration, especially now. You're looking at a client that looks like this all the time. Once in a while, say, pull the mask down, show me what you've got, real quick, and then we put it back, especially new clients, to reignite the passion that was there before this all started. Where do you go? Is it inside? Is it outside?
I think you've always got to start from the inside, because that's where it starts, isn't it? You've got to really do some soul searching within and ask again, what is it? Where do I thrive? Where do I shine? What makes me excited? Not even think about the money, actually. Think about what makes you thrive and shine, because the money will follow if you're following that principle. Regarding the whole mask situation, it is very, very, very hard, because there's so much of the face we're not designing to. And, we're going to be doing something very exciting about facial framing and design coming up this year, which is going to be super, super exciting. So I'm not going to tell you about it because it's in development, but it's something hot's coming. What I would say to you right now, a couple of things. When you do your consultation, ask the client to take a photograph of herself, so she can just run into the bathroom, a front and a side, so that you can do the consultation to her photograph. And that way you can see her whole face. And there's something really fascinating about doing a consultation to the photo, because you're outside of yourself. You're detached. And I find you can get a very fascinating consultation, because you're looking at that person saying, you see this and see this, as opposed to saying, you see this and see this. It's a different feeling when you're pointing to the phone and saying, look, I want to lift this area here, and I want to bring this area in here, and I want to give you more volume here. You're designing to the face shape. And of course, we do it this way, but when this is all hidden, it's very, very hard, isn't it? So that's the number one. It's a really great tip. And we want, from these conversations about your career, for you to be able to take away some important nuggets. So that's a really important nugget. The other thing is, we all now are getting really clever using our phones. Maybe now's the time to do a really cool photo shoot with your phone, with your ring light, whether it's with a mannequin head or not. For those of you who have been following the Hair Heroes, you will see that Sally Brooks, an incredible hairdresser from the UK, she won the British Hairdressing Awards collection with a mannequin collection. And these mannequins were extraordinary. What a work of art she created. Now, yes, great photography, a great mannequin, amazing hair, and a great concept. So I challenge you today, go out there and start gathering some ideas, some images, some mood boards. Create a mood board of your favorite hairstyles, some favorite color techniques. Start looking at what that is. And even if it's on a mannequin head, you can get those hair shoulders from hair art. So your mannequin can sit on some shoulders. You can dress that little mannequin up. You can make up her face. I mean, I once had a Japanese makeup artist make up my pivot point mannequins to the point where it's like, wow, a set of false eyelashes, do the hair, play around with your lighting, and do a photo shoot. And push your creativity in that direction. And we would love to see that. We would love to see you post your inspiration and really push the envelope. Like, the environment's important, which means that your products and the salon background's not there. Find a cool wall, create a great setting for your style. Stage it. Stage the hairstyle. Create an amazing look. And you never know, maybe we'll give some nice prizes to those that we really like. You never know. There's minds working there. But do that, because you know what? How do you feel when you do something that's gorgeous? How do you feel?
Fantastic.
Great.
How do you feel when it doesn't quite go the way you want? How do you feel when it's the 20th version of that you've done and it's only 2 days into the week? Now, how do you feel when you create something original to you? Push yourself, get uncomfortable. And whether it's on a mannequin head or a human being, do the very best version and do your photo shoot with your phone, because that will be absolutely amazing. Just to finish, Max has been helping me with this. Remember hair shows, guys? Do you remember them? Well, my whole career, I've done so many hair shows that I think we've got 40 videos archived right now. We haven't published them yet, of the hair shows I've done around the world over the last 35 years. And when I look at some of those hair shows and some of the ideas that I was doing, and I tell you, some of the hair shows that I did, the budget was $700,000 for Viv's show. Those days are not coming back again, not in a long, long time. So we're going to eventually put vintage Viv, because I am vintage, you know, I'm going to be stuffed soon and put in a museum. But Vintage Viv is going to be published soon, and you're going to see some of the most crazy hair shows. And I tell you what, some of the mad things I did, I go, wow. And some of it's like, I can't believe you did that. That's so ridiculous, Vivienne. Well, it was creative, but it was ridiculous. And some of it's like, wow, that's really good. I didn't think you were that good, but that was really good. And then the other question is, well, how did you do that? So, you know, that what is old is new. I always think, you know, you can look backwards, take an element from that and bring it to today. And we will, on future conversations with our career, go into photo shoots and talk about that. But we have a series lined up for you. So do join us for the posting. And I just want to say thank you to Rosemary and to Cindy and to Max for sharing your magic with me. And guys, thank you so much. Hi, Susie. Thank you for being with us today. And all the other people that I can see coming through. Crystal, thank you so much. Laurie. And some names I can't even pronounce. Rosemary, back to you.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you again to the team. Thank you, all of you, for joining us today. Please keep an eye out on the Instagram, Hairdressers Create, and Vivienne McKinder page for our next session on Conversations with Viv. And we do highly suggest, because we're here to add value to you and really pick into the brain of our brilliant leader, Vivienne. So put the questions in the chat. We will absolutely bring them to the table. And Lori, hello. I know you said hello to me. So
yeah, and everyone watching, just do this for me, because it's such a big deal that I'm actually using my name for the first time in my career. Please do go to viviennemckinder.com. And it's spelled the French way, the feminine way, Vivienne. I know. I'm not a Vivienne. That's a boy. I'm a Vivienne. Do you know what that means in French? I think it's something to do with hunting. So with that said, I'm going to take my little bloodhound nose and work my way into the kitchen.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Vivienne. And we will all see you soon again.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.